Hello everyone, and welcome on back to the channel. Today we are going to be doing a tutorial on this ultimate 1.17 survival base. It is a pretty small house overall in the general scale. People definitely have bases a lot bigger than this one, but I have absolutely packed it with various little bits and pieces pertaining to the new 1.17 update and used a whole host of our new blocks here to bring this one to life. Some key features of this survival base: we have a really cute little crop farm out the front, we have an axolotl pond feature underneath our bee farm here on the side. Coming around the back, we have a canopy over the entrance to our underground kind of mining segment. You could have your mines heading down this way. We have a little hanging root farm, a bunch of glowberries growing in the walls. And down this way, of course, we have nether portal access and a full level 30 enchanting room inside this homemade geode. Now coming on inside the front of the house here, we have a wonderful amethyst floor. We have an in-house dripstone farm here, as well a bunch of furnaces built into the floor, a potion brewing section, a main crafting segment, and coming on up the ladder, of course, we have a whole bunch of storage scattered all the way around up here, a bit more up there. This is the access out into our little beekeeping area, and climbing up this ladder and up the next one, we are up in our little bedroom where you can of course sleep, play some music, and enjoy life from the top of your fun new tower. But that is it. That is the basic rundown of this really fun 1.17 base, and I think we should just jump straight in to the tutorial. This one right here is the dimensions for your base. We have our main calcite body here with our front door, two side back doors, and this offshoot brown terracotta section, as well as a few markings for where our awnings and that little front gate are going to be. Now you can copy this one down, or as I bring in our foundations, I'm also going to be counting out all of our gaps. So let's get into building. So starting off with this build, we are going to be bringing up our deep slate supports. So I'm going to be using a combination of deep slate brick, deep slate tile, cobbled deep slate, and cracked deep slate, which doesn't matter too much what goes where. You're just getting the dimensions right and kind of mixing them around to give the build a bit more of a textured look. And we are bringing this one up by 5, going across 5 here, and bringing this corner one up by 5 as well, just to match those ones up. Something just like that here at the front. Then coming all the way around, we have a gap of 3 here, a gap of 5, and then bringing up these supports, we then have another gap of 3 just to finish this one off. So then we are continuing to repeat that all the way around with 4 gaps of 5 in these spots here, and these ones here as gaps of 3. So then you should have a frame looking something like this here on this main body, and then coming around the side, this whole segment is 1 block shorter than this segment. So we are bringing our deep slate combo up by 4 and then capping it off just here, something like that, and repeating that again all the way around. But here on this back side, we are actually just doing the impression of a crossbeam with something just like that here in those 2 points. And then next up here for our framework is we are actually going to be bringing out a little bit of stair action, something maybe just like that. We're doing a block and a stair on these outside portions of our pillars here on the calcite segment. So just continuing to repeat that one all the way around, again just mottling our way through our little deep slate selection here. So then it might leave us with something looking a little bit like this all the way around. And then here on the little brown terracotta section, we aren't doing our blocks, but we are just bringing our stairs up next to our supports. So just continuing those all the way around and through here, just like that. And now the final piece here with our deep slate is going to be bringing up our tower, which we are going to start by bringing out some stairs 1 block inwards on either side from these main pillars on this centerpiece, and doing that same thing around on the other side. And then from these stairs, we are going to be bringing our deep slate mix up by 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and just repeating that all the way around on each of these little stair pieces. And from here we are just going to be doing our final bit of stonework here at the top of the tower. So we are just bringing out some stairs upside down just like this from all of these points here. Just like that, and then bringing our block mixture across just like this, connecting up all of these stairs. And then from this point, using our stairs again, we are going to be bringing a middle stair down from these points, maybe something just like this. And then we are going to be bringing opposing stairs upwards from where all of those lower ones are. So something just like this, leaving gaps in between them across the top of our row of blocks. And now our little build should be looking something like this, which is most of our stonework all done. And now from this point we are ready to start bringing in our walls, which are a mixture of calcite, quartz bricks and smooth quartz for all of the stairs we need, which are just for a few window and door pieces here on the build. So our front face is going to be something like this, with a 2-high window, a little spruce door here, and just filling the rest of this out with a bit more quartz and calcite for something just like this. Coming around this right side, this one here is going to be another window piece, something just like this. And coming around this opposing side, the same thing again, this one is just going to be another little window piece. Then here we can just fill this wall in with our mixture, so something just like that. This one here is going to be another little doorway, so this wall should be looking something like this with a little spruce door just here. Around this back side of our calcite section, we are going to be having another 2 windows in these 2 spots, just like this. So that should end up something like that, and around this side we have another door coming in here again. So just like that again with our spruce. And then here for this inside part, we can just bring up a little bit of our calcite and quartz brick, just capping it off with something like that and a little bit of stair action, ending up with something just like that as a little bit of an entrance between these 2 segments. Then we can start bringing up our brown terracotta segment, which is mostly brown terracotta with a little mix of the brown concrete and our stairs as the dark oak stairs. So something just like that here for this doorway could be really cute, with a dark oak door here for this one. Then on this side right next to it, we have a little window. Coming around this back end, we can do something just like this with our concrete and brown terracotta to fill in these gaps. Then coming around this back side, this one here is going to be another little window. And this one right next to it is going to be just a blank wall, something like that. And now from here we can start filling in the body of our tower, which we can start just here on this right side, where we are going to be having a 2-high window right underneath that upside down deep slate stair. So continuing this one down, maybe something just a little bit like this with a dark oak stair at the bottom of that, and then just filling the rest of this little segment in. And now here on either side we want to fill these ones here in down by 5, so just this far. We don't need to worry about filling in these lower segments of this side, so we're capping it off right at that level. And now it should be looking something like this. And then here on this final side of the tower, we are going to be having a 1 tall window just here, something like that. And then from here we are also having a little doorway right there, so we can bring down these sides just until that point, place some dark oak stairs along that bit of deep slate, and coming around inside, just do some slabs like this, outwards by 1 like that, and repeat that little design here on this side. Then we can just place our dark oak door and leave that there for now, ready to work with when we want to bring out our bee awning. So then with our tower looking something like this, coming up to the top to finish it off, where we can just fill in all of these little gaps, which gives us a flat surface to work in, where we bring our calcite and quartz mixture up by 5. And we are just going to be putting 1 tall windows just like that up at the top of these segments on every single side of this piece. So now our build should be looking something like this. And now let's start bringing in our roof framework with some spruce planks, spruce stairs, spruce slabs, and spruce trapdoors. So first, coming onto this brown terracotta segment, we are bringing our stairs all the way along and just doing a simple step roof. So bringing these ones up just like this until we reach the middle point right here, where we will do an upside down stair, a block on top, another upside down stair, and 2 trapdoors coming out from that just like that. Then bringing our stairs along the opposing side and meeting them up in the middle. And now from this point here, we can just grab our planks and connect this part here up to the tower body like that. And now coming around to the main body of the build to bring in our frame, and starting from the same point as these stairs but one above them, we are just bringing in a slightly different shaped roof here. So we are taking our stairs up by 2 just like this, and then doing a plank on top, another stair, upside down stair, plank, stair, and we should be in the middle here, where we are doing the same thing with a block, a stair, and 2 trapdoors. Then from here, we only need to bring in our sides for this roof from this pillar here and from this pillar here going outwards, and this section we will cover when we do our little beekeeping area. And continuing to bring up the roof, we are just repeating this exact 2 lots of stairs and then alternating our planks and stairs pattern all the way around. And then with our roof looking something like this, we can just bring our planks across like this to connect up with the tower once more. Now we are going to be doing our little top of roof detail with some spruce gates just like this, and either a granite or brick wall connecting them so they do this little dip there in the middle. Again on this side, but I might swap it to brick instead of granite there. And coming around here, we actually will have our chimneys interrupting this one. So this is one chimney, this is another, and we can just pop a gate between those. And then we can do our 2 gates, our wall, 2 more gates, and just pop a spruce plank there on the end to finish that one off. And now from here, let's just bring up our tower roof. For this one, we're going to be needing a bunch of waxed copper, so do make sure that is waxed, some standard terracotta, acacia trapdoors, and a little bit of deep slate tile wall, lightning rod, and iron bars for our point up at the top. And to start this roof off, we are just going to be alternating through our 3 blocks here on top of our calcite and quartz segments. And then from this point, we are just doing 1 more block here in the middle of each of those, and then putting our waxed stairs on top of all 3 blocks in each segment. And then we could just bring in some upside down stairs or something here next to each one, and start bringing in some more blocks next to all of those, something just like this, with our slabs on top of those 4. And then we are again doing blocks on top of those upside down stairs and placing stairs on top of those blocks. And then for the final piece of this tower, we are just bringing the spire up by 2 more blocks just like that, and then rimming that lower one with our acacia trapdoors. And then from this point, we are placing our deep slate tile wall, an upside down lightning rod just like that, and an iron bar right there on top of it. And then we do just need to do our trim here on this roof so it doesn't look so weird, which we can start with a spruce stair right there in the center all the way around. And then with our slabs, we are doing them beside the stair on that lower half and then dropping them down by 1 in these corner segments. So repeating that all the way around. And then to make this feel a little bit more seamless, we are doing trapdoors on the bottoms of both of those slabs and 1 on the top of the lowered slab. And of course, repeating that as well all the way around. And we should have a wonderful little tower looking something like this. And then for these 2 lower main roofs, over here on the right one, we are doing another copper mix with our blocks, our cut copper, our terracotta, and our stairs. So I kind of find roofs like this easiest to do if I fill them in with a main block first, and then just start running through and breaking it all up and mixing the rest of our blocks into the equation. So then you should end up with a fun little roof piece looking something like that, which we are just repeating over on the other side. And that is our other side there all done, and we have this really fun mixed copper roof that matches in with our tower. And then to break away a bit from these bright copper roofs, here on the main roof we are going to be doing a mix of brick and granite with the stairs for both block types included as well. So I am just starting off by mixing our blocks through, keeping in line with the frame just like this. And then repeating something like that on all of the sides here for our little roof. And then from this point on all of our sides, I am just running through and swapping quite a few of these out for our stairs just to add a bit more variation. And then our finished textured little roof should be looking something like this all the way around. Now let's start filling in these empty bits of roof. Here on the main one, we're doing this with some stripped birch and stripped oak wood alternating between them, so we end up with a cool effect like this. Then we can knock out this middle one, which you will want to have the wood, not the logs here, just so it doesn't expose any ends, and pop an oak trapdoor there in that center. As well, we are using polished basalt here as our logs running through the roof. Then after bringing that one out by 3 so it protrudes the same amount as the trapdoor above it, we are popping a polished blackstone button on the end, deep slate tile wall beneath, a lightning rod turning so that the ball is at the top there, and then just a lantern hanging from beneath that. And then we can just finish off this roof end with an alternation of our spruce slabs and spruce trapdoors, and then another spruce trapdoor just there beneath the basalt. And then just taking this and repeating it on the opposite end of the roof. And then with this end all done as well, we are coming around this side and bringing in our fireplace and chimneys. And now for our fireplace, we are doing again a brick and granite mix. So we can just start by bringing these ones up all throughout this gap we've left here in this wall. So maybe something just like that. And then we can actually just start bringing these ones up, maybe something like this, including a few stairs just to make it feel a bit more run down and broken up. Maybe something just like that. And then we can of course rubble this one out a little bit more. And then we can grab our polished basalt and bring it out by 2 here so it's 1 less than that top bit. Doing again our spruce stair and slab combo, button on the end, and we are skipping the wall step to just bring a lightning rod and lantern down here. Just like that, so it's a little bit more understated than the ones on our main body of the build. And then coming around to the top, we can bring up our chimneys with, say, a wall straight on top of this inner one and an upside down stair on top of that with the campfire right there. And then on the one next to it, maybe something turning this way with our upside down stair just like that, and our campfire on top once more. We can then finish off the detail here on these chimneys with some spruce trapdoors all the way around our campfires, and a little bit of lightning rod action just like that with an iron bar on top for both of them. And with our chimneys looking just like this from the outside, let's duck on inside and I will show you how to tackle this fireplace section. So we could just knock out 2 blocks here and place our campfire there in the middle. Then we are bringing out some stairs just like that, and then 2 more on top facing inwards like that. Then just coming in with some slabs for maybe something like that, and we are all done with our little fireplace. And then for a few final touches here, we can bring some glass panes in on our windows and some oak trapdoors generally just to the left of these windows for a little bit of shutter action, which I think is really cute. And then here on the back, I like doing them just on either side of the windows, and doing them over on the brown segment as well. And then placing our glass here in the main body of the tower, we can just skip our shutter for those ones. But then here up the very top, we are continuing to do our oak trapdoor shutters because that contrast with the white is really nice. And there we go. I think next up we start bringing in our little side pieces. Now here on the side of our build, let's start doing our little awning for our bee area by bringing some upside down dark oak stairs across this little piece here, which we can as well just grab our spruce stairs and turn them inwards to create a little bit of a more seamless transition. And now from this point here, we are doing our supports 4 blocks out from the wall of the build with barrel bottoms and an alternation of dark oak and spruce logs up to the same height as those dark oak stairs. Then we can grab our dark oak stairs and bring them in just like this between those two pillars. And then to connect up these two sides as well, 2 more dark oak stairs just like that, and some dark oak trapdoors running between them. We can then fill out the rest of our little floor with some dark oak slabs. And then continuing our pillars with 2 barrels on this level as well, and then continuing them upwards just like this, 4 more in height. And then from here we are connecting these ones up with opposing stair patterns to what we have down there, and some little dark oak trapdoors on the top. And then on these longer upper segments we are doing a stair, a trapdoor, a slab, a trapdoor, and an opposing stair just like that. Repeating that on the other side, and bringing trapdoors in underneath all the blocks that are not trapdoors themselves. And now we can grab a bit more deep slate and just repeat our little block stair pattern here on these ends to cap off our mini staircase. And now feel free to connect all these spots up with just some filler blocks. We will be immediately deleting these ones just to make running our spruce trapdoors along all of these sides a lot easier. And with those all the way around, we are just doing our corners with some oak trapdoors to break up that pattern. And removing our filler blocks as well, we have this wonderful little spot for our beekeeping, which we can just then grab a chain and hang it from each of these trapdoors left uncovered, and pop our bee boxes hanging underneath all of those. And now that our little bee section is done, let's head down and do our axolotl enclosure, which we can start by digging out a little pond here. This doesn't have to be anything exact, just something a little bit fun and organic, maybe something in a shape just like that. Which I do like to fill this one up with water first, just so we don't have issues with weird water flow later on while it's all still flat and not detailed. Then from here we can extend these little pillars down as well, just so that they stay consistent. And we can deepen our pond that little bit further and start detailing it out. Which I will just continue a little bit of calcite and quartz down in there as well. And this one is something I personally detailed with just a bit of our moss blocks, a bunch of our mossy cobblestone stairs and slabs, which I did of course waterlog just to make sure they didn't have that weird blue block texture. And then maybe a little bit of rooted dirt in here as well, just as an excuse to use another one of our fun new blocks. And popping in a few drip leaves. Maybe something just like this could be cute, and of course some small drip leaves as well, because they are just super cute. And for a final touch here on our axolotl pond, let's bring in our little waterfall, which we are knocking out the 3rd highest block just here, 1 down from the top, and the 2nd highest block just there, which we can then grab some oak trapdoors and just pop them in like that so that the water doesn't go spilling into our house, and then pop our water source blocks there in those for a really cute little axolotl pond. Now with this side finished, let's come around the front and add in our little farming area, which let's start off by doing our little gate. Again, we're doing some barrel bottoms with a mixture of our dark oak and spruce, just going up by 2 with those ones, and then popping some dark oak stairs just like this on top of either pillar, doing a trapdoor on top of those upside down stairs, and a slab connecting them with a trapdoor underneath it. And now we can bring in our little deep slate wall, which you really don't have to be too specific about how you do this. I'm just doing something like that right there. And then bringing in a little bit of extra wall action here as well, which I do just like to run around, alternating through all of our little cobbled pieces, something just like that. And we can just bring in a little extra bit of wall detail. And for a little bit of extra fun here, you can just pop some black candles on top of a few of these spots and light them up, which I think is just so cute. And now with our cute little farm segment looking ready to go, let's come around the back here and add in our final little mines piece, which we are going to start by digging the main hole that will curve around into this entrance, which this is a fairly organically shaped design, so don't feel too stressed out about getting it perfect. But the bulk of this hole is going to be dug within this little space here created by the shape of our build. And we are just going to be alternating stone, cobblestone and andesite stairs on the way down with us. So I'm thinking something like this for our little staircase. Which I think something just like this is a great start for this little segment. So I've done the stairs 4 coming down like this until they line up with this pillar, which we can of course just bring in some other pillar bits. And of course doing that to all the pillars around here. So if you want to copy this, a great first step is a little segment looking something like this. And we can just come in here and get rid of these 3 blocks here, doing a little bit of a pattern of our upside down stairs just like that, because this is going to be the further drop down into our underground section. Now this is a pretty organically shaped little hole, but if you do want to copy it, this is basically what's going on here. We have this little cutout shape here, another little L right here, right next to where this pillar is going to go, which is again 4 blocks out from the wall of this piece here, and 4 blocks out from the wall of that piece here, coming out 2 from that one there. And with our little hole dug out just like that, let's bring up our tiny awning. So if you do want to do barrel bottoms on these pillars, it's just going to be those ones here, and then again we are doing our dark oak and spruce log mix up. And then doing something very similar to what we did over with our B section, we are bringing these ones up by 5. Again, just alternating our dark oak and our spruce. And then capping them off with some dark oak trapdoors and doing some dark oak stairs with a trapdoor in between, and just like this to connect them. And coming around the side, we are doing exactly the same pattern we did before for these ones here as well, but just cutting it off there like that when it runs into those blocks. And of course doing our dark oak trapdoors underneath those blocks as well. We are then running oak trapdoors along just like this underneath everything, making sure they are on the top part of this lower block, not the bottom part of the upper block, so we're able to place some leaves on top. And now for the final touch here on our little awning, we are sprawling some azalea, flowering azalea and oak leaves all the way around on top of this one. And don't be afraid to knock out some blocks or something just like that, maybe even something like this, just to bring a bit more fun and life into this fairly overgrown little segment. Maybe even something like this as well, just bringing those ones down and continuing to sprawl these around, perhaps even spreading them outwards and up our little roof here. So then our finished result might be something just like this, where we've kind of spread them up the roof as well, as if they've been growing outwards from the main cluster here. And now we can go around and bring some final touches into our build. Now the main final detail we are bringing into our build is going to be a few flower and leaf boxes, such as this one out the front, just to a cross with an oak and azalea leaf, and just popping some dark oak and spruce signs around it. We can as well pop a flower pot with a flowering azalea in it up there, just for that bit of extra detail. And now coming around the sides of the build, we can bring in a few more of our little flower boxes with some dark oak slabs and trapdoors here just beneath this one. We can do something just like this with our leaves and pop our spruce in on the middle and the 2 sides, and our dark oak just like that. And I think here just on the right side with this one, we could pop an azalea like that. And then around here on the other side, we are doing basically the same thing with our dark oak slabs and trapdoors, and again a little bit of our azalea action, same pattern with our signs, and another little pot and azalea right there. Around this backside, we are doing the same thing again with a little bit of azalea leaf action, the same pattern with our signs, just along underneath these windows, and again another pot and an azalea, and coming up above that we are again doing a little pot and azalea right on that face. Now the final flower box we are doing here, we are doing something a bit more standard by running some dirt or grass blocks along underneath this window. Then with our dark oak slabs and trapdoor underneath that, some dark oak trapdoors on either side, and a spruce trapdoor there in the middle. We can then get rid of our little shutter as our plants are going to be in the way and just bring across, say, an allium, fern and lily of the valley to really accent this fun little segment for when we go in underneath. And finally, my other new favorite thing since the 1.17 update is hanging up our little potted azalea plants. So we can get rid of this shutter as well actually and just start bringing in some chains with these little bushes hanging from them. And I actually love how perfectly these fit to look like they are actually hanging up. So we can pop another one right there, another one right on the opposite side. We can do one to the left of this little door here if we swap that one there to a stair, maybe something just like that. Coming down here, another one just to the right of this piece here. And if you spot anywhere else you would like to add these fun little hanging pieces, then feel free to, because I think they are just so cute. And now, last but not least, let's run our alternating spruce trapdoors along underneath the edges of all of our spruce roofing here. Just like that, and we can even bring out this slab here, just like this, so it's a full block, and we can pop a spore blossom right there above our little pond. We can also just pop a few lanterns around for a little bit of extra lighting, and we are all done with our wonderful 1.17 ultimate survival base. Now, if you are feeling a little lost on how to detail and decorate your way around the rest of this one, I will give you another little flyover and walkthrough so that you're able to pause and copy anything you feel like you really want in your own edition of this build. So coming on inside, I will just kind of be pausing as I look around to give you good moments for you to pause the video as well and copy what I have done throughout the place. Our floor here is amethyst, purple wool, purple carpet, and purple concrete. We have a little crafting segment here in the middle, and I've popped a bunch of glow lichen all around the walls. Over here in the dripstone farm is a bunch of storage, a big bench brought up there along the top, and there are actually water source blocks above the middle three of all of these dripstone pieces, so it is actually able to grow in here. Coming on upstairs here, nothing too fancy. We do have a floor entirely of trapdoors here, and these blocks here are actually stairs. And we do just have barrels filling in all of these gaps, and our basalt brought out with some granite and brick stairs as well. We have a little trash can, a bunch more little details all the way around, and looking up, I again have these little shelf segments. And flying on up here, I also have this tiny little awning piece that goes on up to our top floor. Which, coming on up here, nothing too fancy about this one. We do have a little bit of a layered up segment here for our bed with some stairs onto it, a barrel, jukebox, candles, and just some more crafting accessibility and a bell hanging from up here. And heading on back down, this one is what the B section is like, which of course you can leave it bare or just put your campfires in underneath your B boxes if you want it to have full functionality all the time. And heading back inside, let's head down around to the underground segment. So this little walkway has just been filled out a little more with some bushes and detail, and actually from the outside I will quickly give you a better look at the fence work around here. And of course, just a bunch of bushes, rocks, and tiny little trees with all our fun new blocks. Coming in down here, I have these three little black banners hanging from this segment here, which we are dropping down another 1, 2, 3 blocks here with the stairs, and just above these trapdoors is actually the floor of that section above. So for reference on the height here, this one is 6 blocks tall, and it is exactly the right amount to tuck in underneath the build itself. This main section here, we have a 3 wide here, 3 wide here, where this one is going to be the little doorway to a mining segment. Turning around, we have a bunch of these little detail pieces with stripped dark oak in behind our hanging glowberries. A little bit of gold armor ready to take into the nether. Over here for our hanging root farms, this segment is 5 along before we get to our next little pillar segment, so 6 along total if you count that one, just with these little 2 gap and our 2 lots of the hanging root farm, and just our glowberry windows all the way around, 3 high on these 2 side walls and 2 high on that centerpiece. And then coming down here for the personal geode and enchanting segment, I have just done a little gradient of some of our fun new blocks, and then our smooth basalt layer, our calcite layer, and our portal itself. So this one is a staircase drop down of 3 here from the end of this room. And then inside the homemade geode, we drop down 2 more where we have our enchanting table on top of a lodestone. And I mean, this one is going to be pretty hard to copy down, which is why I'm not really including it in today's tutorial, but I am just going to kind of show you so you might be able to copy the dimensions and follow a bit of the design if you really want something like this in your own base, because I do just think it is so fun and I would love to do something like this in a survival world sometime. And you do just have to be really careful of how many books you have around here to make sure you are maintaining your level 30 enchantments on that one. And you are all done with today's tutorial. Sorry if I kind of skimmed past a lot of the interior and details a bit quickly. It turned out this build was a very detailed and pretty hard to transfer into a relatively succinct tutorial, but I did try my best to cover a lot of how I pulled this build together, and it was a great excuse to use as many of the new 1.17 blocks as I possibly could. Again, thank you so much for watching and sticking it out all the way to the end. I really appreciate it. I hope you have loved seeing this build come together as much as I have. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, let me know what your favorite thing is about this ultimate 1.17 survival base. And again, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye bye!